Hey guys, it's Tommy TM. Welcome back to Let's Build Alton Towers. Obviously, first episode we kicked off with the park entrance. How else would we start the park? And obviously, I did show you what we had got done in episode 1. Very happy with this entrance plaza. There isn't a lot more out in this section of Alton Towers, to be fair. Moving on to episode 2, we will be moving on to Towers Street. Now, Towers Street is a little bit like Main Street at Magic Kingdom at Disney, just not quite as glamorous. Still very colourful, just not quite as glamorous. I'll stick a photo up here as to what Towers Street kind of looks like, just so you can kind of get a feel if you've not been to Alton Towers before. So in this episode, terrain is going to be a very big pain in my backside, just because the street is all built on a bit of a slope. But I'm going to try and get that right. So I've just got to slope it down to the bottom where it then flattens out a little bit. I think I'm just going to kind of get the rough outlines of the buildings first and then decorate them afterwards. I think that will probably be the best way of doing it. And then obviously we're just going to put the the pathways in as well, and try and get most of the levels right. As I say, I'm trying to be fairly detailed with the park, but I'm not overdoing it in the sense of putting in thousands of pieces for something very small, mainly because I am obviously on console. I am limited, and I don't want to fill up the park just by building the main entrance and Tower Street. I want to at least kind of go down there and build another section of the park with rides and attractions in. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this episode, and I shall speak to you again shortly once I have begun construction on Tower Street. So yeah, see you soon. Okay, well, here is the first progress update. I have finished sort of building this little fence going across the front here. Obviously this leads to a dead end for the guests. Down this side we have the toilets as you saw earlier, but this is now fenced off down here. And then as you come through the middle, this is the view that you get of Tower Street. Now obviously this isn't fully complete yet. There is shops down the left and right, and there is some more grassed areas down the middle. But I'm quite happy with how this is starting to look out. So here's the first couple of buildings on the side. The first one is a cash machine building. I actually have never been to this building. I'm not actually sure what is usually inside, but I just know that there's a cash machine outside looking at the photos. There is small things like the grassed area here that I will tidy up towards the end, but for now I'm not quite sure what to fill in there. And yeah, so that's a small thing to come back to, but it's not urgent at the minute. But yeah, this is looking at it from the other angle. I'm quite pleased with how this is coming together. I'm really happy I managed to get the sort of raised grass area in a circle here around the path. Now with the terrain and stuff, there is some bumps in the path just here, like you can see, but the guests will still walk on it, and that's all that matters really. There's the look back up. Now over this side we have a car park, and I'll just put up a photo now just to show you what this car park is and why it's here. This is just a staff car park. So there is a road which I've done. Well, I've sprayed in concrete. You can see this. You can see the difference there when I zoom out. Sprayed in concrete. Put the yellow lines on, and this kind of goes around the outside here, and it leads out to the edge of the park. Now I'm not going any further with that yet, because once I get to the bottom of Tower Street, this side will all become CBeebies land. So this is where all the family friendly and the child rides are, along with Spinball Whizzer, which is the Maurer spinning coaster at Alton Towers. So that's why that's in there. Like I said, I've just kind of done a basic car park for now. That may extend, it may not. I'll see what the space is looking like. Just put a few trees there to kind of block off the edge of that road. And up here, you may think, what on earth is this up here? I didn't know this existed until I started looking at photos, because you can look at Alton Towers on Google Maps. You can go through the entire park on Google Maps. And if you take a look, there is fencing up here like that. And what it is, it's when the monorail comes over here, it's so that guests don't look over and see, because obviously they're a little bit higher up, they're like there, and see the car park, because obviously that kind of gives the illusion, it gets rid of the illusion really of the nice looking park. So obviously when the monorail comes past and the guests are looking out, all they'll see is that. There isn't a fence panel that looks anything like this in the game. There's the pirate one, but the wooden posts are kind of separated. So I've basically just put together a group of 16 different wooden beams, grouped the items together like that, and then just placed them along. And as you can see from this photo, that's what that is supposed to be looking like. So yeah, and then obviously there's just some bins down here. Again, just some kind of backstage stuff. Down this side, this will be all the edge of CBeebies Land. But again, I'm not doing too much work because I don't want to then go and change it all when I have to, when I'm starting to build that area. So yeah, that is what Tower Street is currently looking like. I will continue to build that, and you will see shortly where the progress goes from here. So yeah, see you in a minute. Hello there. So this is where we are currently at. What I've done is I've just kind of done a layout for the buildings. I've got pretty much the general layout of all the buildings now on Tower Street. And the reason I did that was because I did start off getting the buildings exactly right, doing them one by one like this. And the reason I stopped doing that was because I didn't want to get to the end of this line of buildings and then I'd be sort of out of position, or if the buildings weren't scaled right. So I decided to just get the general gist of the buildings right, and then I'll go back through and sort of and sort of finish off the exteriors, i.e. put windows in, doors, any patterns on the building, and anything like that really. Now I am using Google Maps to sort of help me with this, because although I've been to Alton Towers many a time and I can picture this street in the similar shape that it is now, things do change over time, obviously, and Google Maps has a lot of the photos on there. Not all of them. A lot of them are from September 2009, which is a fairly long time ago for a theme park. And Tower Street did have a massive makeover. I say makeover; it was more of a bit of a paint job. To kind of freshen it up, and so therefore the Tower Street isn't probably going to be the right colours, etc. And some of the shops may have moved. For example, guest services down here, I know is now in this building, in the real park. However, rather than kind of searching through looking for each individual photo of each individual building, which is going to be very few and far between on some of them. I thought if I just use Google Maps, it would be, it is going to get me the Alton Towers layout. The building shapes haven't changed. It's just necessarily, it's just sort of, what the buildings are used for. So, so the next job is to just go through and put the exteriors on and sort out the roofs, really. We've got some takeaway places down here because there is a donut store down there. And so I've just got a donut. I've got a which shop have I put in there? I've put Missy Donuts in there. And I've just put a Cosmic Cow drinks shop in there as well. So the guests have actually got somewhere to start using now, because beforehand they've just had the toilets. And then obviously we've got the restaurants down here, where the seating's starting to going in. And then there will be some seating over this area. The terrain has been a nightmare, an absolute nightmare to try and sort, but I'm getting there. That'll all look more tidy. I was just kind of getting the shapes in line to give me a rough idea as to what it'll look like. But yeah, I'll finish off this path, put a lake in, put a bit of water, and then from then I will start going out onto the right hand side here, where we will have CBeebies Land just in this area. And then next to CBeebies Land, we will have Spinball Whizzer and that sort of section over here. And obviously, once I've put all that in, put the theming to it, I will see what percentage I'm at. and then maybe from then I'll make a decision. I'll either go down towards X sector, where you'll find the Smiler and Oblivion, or I'll come back over this way and I will go towards Mutiny Bay and the sort of Skyride and that sort of section over towards Wickerman. So, as I say, this you can't fit Alton Towers in one park on Planet Coaster. You just can't. So this will be done over 2, maybe even 3 different maps, and I will just have to piece it together. And then when the series comes to an end, which is going to be a fair few weeks from now, this is going to be a long process. I can certainly say I've spent a lot of time kind of looking at pictures and trying to match them, because what you got to realise is that although I am just building a park like anybody else in Planet Coaster, I am building it as per a photo, whereas other people might just build it and think, yeah, you know what, I like that, let's stick with it, etc. So it's not a quick process, but yeah. So this will be done over sort of 2, maybe 3 parks, and then when I do the final tour, once everything is done, I will merge the videos all together so that it looks like we're travelling through the park all as one. So yeah, I'm hoping that all comes together. But yeah, I shall catch back up with you to finish off this episode once Tower Street is finished, so you can see what the finished product down here looks like. Ready to start on CBeebies Land in the next episode. So yeah, see you shortly. So Tower Street is now complete. This has been a very time-consuming task, but definitely worth it. It's not been an easy one because obviously all the buildings down this street are different. They are different shapes, they're different sizes, different colours, different windows, different doors, and trying to get this looking right and authentic has not been an easy task, but as I say, definitely worth doing. And just showing you all the different buildings now. As I previously mentioned, I have used Google Maps as a sort of way of giving me a bit of inspiration, just because the live Tower Street, I don't have a unlimited folder access to give me a great layout. Google Maps is definitely the best option for that. So although some of these buildings may be a little bit outdated in terms of the colour, the shapes all still work and the shapes are all there, so that's all that really matters, really, just to get that right. The colours I can easily change if need be. And then we've just got a little seating area just down here. As you get towards the end, there is usually a live queue time screen just on this little bit of grass there. And then if we go to the other side, we get to another seating area, because this little building here is a little coffee shop. And as we go back along, as you can see, I've used a lot of different pieces. Like, for example, here I've got upside down fencing, just to have a bit of decoration on there. And also, as there's a light there. I can I'll tell you what. I'll get rid of that and I'll sort that out afterwards. As I said, because the buildings are, some of them change function over time. I know for a fact that this building is now the current guest services building in the park. But like I say, I wasn't going to kind of mix and match. I was going to go all based on Google Maps, otherwise I'll get mixed up as to what is current and what is old, etc. Down here we've got a sweets and treats little wagon here, so that this little side opens up and this can be easily moved about the park. And again, if you go on Google Maps, that is there. And then we'll just come back down here, and then these are the buildings that you saw previously. The terrain work was not the easiest, especially to flatten it all out in the right level of slope to get the path right. So there is 1 or 2 little bumps, but I can live with that. The guests still walk over it, and that's the main thing. So that is Tower Street. Now, for those of you who are Alton Towers regulars, you will know that one of the infamous things on Tower Street is the frogs that spray water at each other. Now, don't laugh, because there are no frogs in Planet Coaster. However, I've made my own frogs down here, and they squirt water at each other. And there are 3 frogs on lily pads that squirt water at each other, and that is all that needs to be said about that. So they are there, they are in the middle, they are squirting water, and that's all anybody ever needs to know. I don't need to zoom in on them ever again. And then just over this way, we have the beginning to CBeebies Land. So these two trees are going to form the entrance to CBeebies Land, which will cover kind of all this back corner over here. So CBeebies Land, for those of you who are from the UK who probably don't know what CBeebies is the sort of child area and the family rides. So it'll be a lot of junior rides, and then over this way, probably about here, will be Spinball Wizard, which is a Maurer spinning coaster, and that will probably be the first coaster in the park. If not, it will be the Octonauts Junior as part of CBeebies Land. But in terms of main attractions, Spinball Wizard will be the first one that is going in. So yeah, that is Tower Street. As I say, really pleased with how that's looking, and I think it'll look a lot more realistic as well when more guests come in. Obviously, at the minute, the only attractions for the guests are these two shops down here on the right hand side that they're coming down to. So once there's attractions down this bit and there's actually rides in the park, which there will be in the next episode, then it will be a lot nicer to see, more of the guests walking down this way. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Before we go, let's just take a quick look at night time. So there we go. That is Tower Street at night. Really like how that's lit up. It's a nice mixture of gold and white lighting. And obviously for a main entrance strip, you're going to have it well lit at night, especially. And if you did enjoy that, please let me know below. If you give the video the thumbs up, that'd be fantastic. And also, if you want to keep an eye out for future episodes of this series or any other Planet Coaster videos, then do, of course, subscribe. And I shall see you same time next week, 7 PM on Thursday, for episode 3 of Let's Build Alton Towers. So thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.